It's Friday. I didn't sing on Monday, so I thought I'd throw that in, but I didn't have a song ready. Anyway, welcome back to the channel. My name is Alita, for anyone who has never seen me before, and I share prophetic words that the Lord gives me through dreams. So, I have a word which is based on a dream that I had on March 29th, so it's just quite recent. And before I get into the word, remember, be aware of scammers, people that are replying to your comments, asking for money, asking for donations, prophesying over you. I would never do that at all. And second disclaimer, remember that not every prophetic word is meant for you, and you are to please take it to the Lord. It's so important for you to have that relationship with the Lord where you can hear from Him directly. If you believe that a word is for you and it really resonates in your spirit and you're like, yes, this is mine, take it to Him before you run with the word. You've got to make sure that it really is God speaking to you. And for some of you, this word may be confirmation of something God has already told you, which is great position to be in. But I still encourage you to pray about it. I still encourage you to take your questions to Him, because you might have some things that you don't fully understand and they are personal to you, and that's where God comes in. That's where your relationship with Him comes in. It's so important to have a relationship with Him. That is the key. The key to success in this life is a relationship with the Lord, because He will always lead and guide you. And not that He's not leading and guiding you when you're not in relationship with Him. You just won't know that it's Him, and you rely solely on your own intuition or your own understanding. And really, relationship with the Lord is really about partnering with Him, about being in complete surrender and allowing Him to guide your steps. Okay, so let's get into the dream. Like I said, I had it on March 29th. And in this dream, I just went blank. What was happening in this dream? Let me just read my notes to see which dream this was. I listened to so many dreams, guys. Oh, got it. So in this dream, I was in a car. My dad was driving the car, and he was just so, he felt like he had everything under control, and he was just driving this car. I remember as we were driving, we drove past this place that I had seen in a previous dream. It's like I had been living in that place. I can't even say it's a house. It was just this place. And I had been living there in the previous dream. I remembered this place from a previous dream, and I remembered how I had to leave there like I left running, I left like running for my life because of the situation that was happening in that place. And I remember looking at it while I was in this dream now, thinking, oh, wow, this place is still there. It's still standing. And some people in the car were asking me, oh, is that like a hotel or something? And I remember saying, no, it's not. And I forgot what I said it was. But we drove past that place. And then up ahead, as my dad was driving the car, I could see, or I guess we could all see, this man in the road, and he was just walking into the pathway that we were driving, walking into the road. And I was thinking, no, you need to get off the road. I was so worried about him. But he had this huge disc. I guess I can call it a disc. It's thick, it's huge. He's got it in his hand and it's spinning, right? And I can see that this is a potentially dangerous situation. He didn't seem like a friendly person. First, I was worried like we're going to hit him. Then I realized this is not a very friendly person, that they might just, hurt us. And he actually pulled this thing towards the car, and it started to grind against the car. And I'm stressed, like, no, you can't do that. I didn't see any damage to the car at all, none whatsoever. But I was stressed. In my mind, there's damage. The car is damaged. And because I was so worried, I was now exposed in a way. So I was sitting on the left side, and this man was grinding the car. And now it was like my door was gone on the side that I was sitting on, and I was wearing long pants. And I remember this grinding thing, like he put it against my pants, and it started to grind and kind of like suck my pants in. So it kind of like created all these like holes and stuff in my pants. It was like all tattered and torn. But as that was happening, I could feel like the sensation, I wouldn't call it pain. It wasn't like pain, but it could be taken as pain depending on the mindset. So I took it as pain in the dream. And afterwards, when that was over, we were walking. We shifted from being in the car to now walking, still in the same group, still with my dad there. And I remember just feeling so miserable. I remember walking and then realizing, wait, I should be limping because, I had a whole situation back there where my pants were attacked and I felt pain, right? So in my mind, I was like, I should be limping, and the dream ended there. So friends, this dream convicted me, can I tell you? I think God, I think is such a uncertain thing to say when God has given me the revelation of the dream. So God is showing us, and this is also tied to the last video that I put out. He's showing us how the anxiety that some of us have been carrying over the promises coming to pass, because, things have just reached a point for a lot of you that are like, this thing has to happen. Like, you've come so far with the Lord. The promise has been so real to you, and you've come so far. So much has happened that has confirmed that God is doing this, and you just need to just get there, or you just need to just receive it, right? And God was showing me, and this happened, I felt this in the spirit. This shift just happened recently. I felt it probably two nights ago, if I remember correctly. It was so distinct. I woke up with such a joy, like, oh my goodness, I can't even describe, but it was like a shift I've never felt before. I've never felt a shift like that before. And what the Lord is saying is that, when I look at the dream itself, it's like driving past that place that I left running for my life, He's saying, the enemy is going to try and remind you of your past, try and take you back there. He's going to be like, hey, remember this place? Because even when I was looking at this place, I remember thinking, wow, it's still standing, and almost feeling like, yeah, I need to go back there. There was like almost a pull, but we just kept driving. Well, my father kept driving, and my father in the dream representing God himself. He was just so in control and not worried and just moving, and the Lord is basically in control right now. There is a time when you need to be in the driver's seat, but right now, God is in the driver's seat. Right now, He's the one that's moving forward. He's the one that's getting your promise to come to pass. It's by His hand, because He is going to get the glory. Only Him, not you. But while you are in the situation where you don't have much control, you've got to be in a position of faith, in a posture of faith, and you got to trust God. This dream is about trust, because I'm panicking about everything. First, I see this old place. I'm like, oh, I should probably, pop in sometime. It's like, no, just leave the past where it is. Because even as the people were asking, is this a hotel? It's like, is this a transitional place? Have you been here before? It's like, yes, I have. But I remember saying, no, it's not a hotel. I almost think I made it sound to them like something permanent. And what God is saying is that don't do that, because it will become a permanent fixture in your life. You'll always have this thing in your past that is like a permanent thing in your present, on your journey. So let go of that. Don't let the enemy try and pull you into something that you left, that God delivered you from, right? And again, God is in control, and you just got to trust. Stop panicking about everything. Stop thinking that everything is worse than it actually is. When my dad was driving that car in the dream, it's not like he couldn't see that man coming into the road with this huge spinning disc. He could. God can see what's ahead. Sorry, again, it froze. But anyway, he could see it all. So I'm sitting there panicking, thinking that he can't see it. Like, obviously he can see it. So God knows what's up ahead. He can see what the enemy is trying to do, and He's saying, just remain calm. He's calm, so you need to remain calm. He's in control. You're under His covering. You're in His safety, right? Now, because some of us out here are just looking at everything that's going wrong and blowing things out of proportion in terms of what the enemy is trying to do in our lives, we're exposing ourselves. We're exposing ourselves to attack. And here's the beauty and the grace and the love of God, is that even though we're exposing ourselves to these attacks that are really unnecessary, like it's not that bad, you just have to be faithful, have faith, focus on the Lord, and just be led by him, like he's driving the car right now. So anyway, even in that moment of being exposed and being attacked, because this disc ended up, coming and getting my pants, and it ended up all torn and tattered. Pants really represent like almost like a fulfillment of the long-term purpose of your life, your calling. Shorts would be like a short-term calling, purpose. Pants also represent covering. So I think it's like a double layer here. It's like you are exposing the promise. You're exposing your the long-term effectiveness of your calling by being in a state of panic and worry right now, right? And also you're affecting your own covering. Like you are in a position where you're coming out of the covering of God because you're so worried. You're not walking in faith. You're not trusting God. You are just focused on everything that could potentially go wrong, and you're making up all these things in your mind that could go wrong, and you're putting up obstacles in your mind. And God is not seeing any of this as an obstacle. He's moving forward, and he's like, this is not an obstacle for me. And you need to trust that it's not an obstacle for you either, because you are here under my care, under my covering. So by being worried, you're exposing yourself. You are like messing with that covering that the Lord has over you. And what is the result of that? Just misery. You're going to feel miserable, because I just felt so miserable. And just like thinking, I should be limping, and then trying to kind of find that limp. No, the enemy's attack is not that deep. It's not that special. It's not that big. You are blowing it out of proportion, and you need to see it for what it is. It's a non-event. It's not even there. Focus on the Lord, because he's in control and he's driving you forward. He's moving you forward in this time. A shift has happened, and you got to be focused. You got to stay focused. Guys, this word convicted me, because I mentioned it in the last video that I had been, so worried about how things are going to happen, because these things are big. We've been waiting for a lot of these promises to come to pass, and you can see it. It's right there. But then all of a sudden, the mind creates all these obstacles, because when we operate in the flesh, of course there's going to be obstacles. Of course there are things that seem tangible that are potential obstacles. But God is saying, come out of that flesh level and get into the spiritual level where there is no law. The flesh level says you can't apply for this, you can't do this because there's a restriction or whatever. And God is saying, in the spiritual, there is no restriction. COVID restrictions don't matter in the spiritual. Whatever seems to be an obstacle in your life in the physical realm, your circumstances, that doesn't matter in the spiritual realm. And what you are processing in your mind and how you're thinking is what is going to help you or be your downfall. So you've got to be careful about those thoughts. The moment you start thinking of, this is not going to work out, take that thought and pin it to the cross, or hold it captive, and just be like, no, this is not the truth. The truth is, God has made a way, that he's moving forward. He is in control, and he makes all things work together for your good, for the good of those who love him and who are called according to his purpose. The fact that I was wearing pants in that dream, it talks about that long-term purpose, that fulfillment. And God is saying he's fulfilling that right now. So the scripture that I have, I have a couple of scriptures. The first one is from Isaiah 26 verse 3, and it says, you keep him in perfect peace, whose mind is stayed on you, because he trusts in you. If your mind is stayed on the Lord, if you are constantly focused on him and his glory and how big he is, how great he is, how in control he is, how he's got everything perfectly planned out, you are going to find yourself in a space of peace. You're not going to be anxious. You're not going to be looking at everything and thinking, oh, it's all about to fall apart. The other scripture is Jeremiah 17 verse 7, which says, "Blessed is the man who trusts in the Lord, whose trust is in the Lord." You are blessed if you trust in the Lord. So if you're not trusting in the Lord, it's the opposite of blessed. And I don't even want to speak that over you right now. So just know that when you trust the Lord, you are blessed. A blessed person has favor. For a blessed person, doors open. A blessed person will never come against obstacles that are too difficult for the Lord. They will sail through obstacles. I'm not saying that there won't be challenges. Challenges will be there, but see them for what they are. They're not as hectic as we think they are, because God is in control. So that is the word for today, friends. Like I said, I was completely convicted by that word. In fact, I feel so much lighter because of it, and I'm starting to see things in such a beautiful perspective now. I was trying to put those two words together, and it's like, wow, everything seems possible now. It's like, okay, so that thing that seemed like this big obstacle actually isn't that big at all. I can get through that. I can get through this as well. And there's just this sense for me personally, and I know this is also for others, of just God is moving so fast right now. That car that we were in was moving fast. He was driving fast. And we need to just focus on him and know that we're okay. We're safe. If he's in the driver's seat, we're safe and we're going to get there. The car in the dream was not damaged. It was all in my mind. So that's the word, friends. I really pray that it has been a blessing to you. And I'm so excited for the things that the Lord is doing in your lives. I know that we're going to be seeing so many testimonies. I look forward to sharing my testimonies. And yeah, guys, let's get excited. Let's focus on God, on his glory, and know that he's in control. I forgot, I think I did put out a notice. So anyone who's a lover of music and you're interested to hear my stuff and you haven't heard it before, please just have a look in the description box below. There is a link to my Bandcamp page. And today, because it's the first Friday of the month, they are giving up, they're not going to earn any profit from any sales. It's all going to go to the artist. So I'd really be blessed by that if you guys are keen to support me that way. No obligation whatsoever, just for those who love music or who just want to support me in that way. The link is in the description box below. Friends, thank you for all of you who went over to my TikTok and signed up. I'm so thankful for that. And yeah, thank you guys. Remember that God is such a good father. He loves you so much and you are so deeply special to him.
I'm in a race right to the start. They try to lift me